Well, it's Brother Peter with tidbits from the Word. In the book of Genesis in the Old Testament, there's a story about a man named Joseph. Joseph, as a boy, was called a dreamer. And he was called by his brothers a dreamer. And they didn't like what his dreams were. But his dreams were, in actuality, were not dreams, but a revelation from God to what his future life was going to be. You say, why would God give a young man such a revelation? Well, he knew that Joseph was going to need this revelation to have the power to be able to serve him the way he was going to have to serve him, and in the protective mode that God was going to put him in. Now, God put Joseph in a place of protection. And you would say, well, where could that be? What kind of place did he put him in? Well, he put him in a prison house. God had Joseph delivered to the prison and made him in the prison, by the way, the servant to the captain of the guard. He was second man in the prison. The captain of the guard would say, when he wanted something to happen in the prison, he would say, my man Joseph is going to take care of it in the prison. Now, Joseph was a prisoner, but he was going to take care of it. God had made him second man in the prison. Do you think Joseph went without? No, not on your life. The Bible said that God's people, you've never seen them begging bread or going without. I mean, God's going to provide, and God provided for Joseph everywhere Joseph went. Do you know that Joseph got the best of everything when he was under somebody that God had allowed him to be under? Because he was honest, he was true, he believed what he said what he believed, did what he believed, and he put God first in his life. Those are some things, 4 or 5 things right there that have got to be in your life. If you want the blessing of God Almighty on your life, you must give yourself over to God totally. You must, first of all, in the process of life that you're in, you must first do something that's called tithing. That is, give 10% of any dime that you make, you give 1 penny back to the Lord. That is 10 cents on every dollar. That is $10 on every 100. That is $100 on every 1,000. If you make $450 a week, you need to tithe $45 a week. And you say, Brother Peter, I cannot afford to tithe $45 a week. Well, that's okay then. What we'll do is we'll ask God, and we'll pray for you and ask the Lord to knock you back down so that you're only making $250 a week, and then you'll only have to tithe $25. How about that? Does that sound like a good solution? Or would it be a better solution to stay at $450 and tithe the $45 a week and have $200 more than you would have had, or right at $200 more than you would have had, that you can use? By the way, no money is your money. No money is my money. All money belongs to God, but He lets you use it. Now, as He lets you use it, He asks you to do this, to bring 10% of it to the storehouse. Now, you may say, Brother Peter, all they want down there where I go to church is money. Well, they got to pay the light bill. And if they're any kind of church at all, of any size at all, they've got to pay the light bill. And not only that, they usually have a secretary. If they're a church of any size at all, a secretary has to be paid. You talk about giving $45 out of your $450. What about the poor little secretary in the church that's only making $250, and she's required to put $25 in? And you say, well, I don't think the secretary in church ought to make that much money. Well, you try it for a while. It isn't just that she has secretarial work, but she's got to put up with all the heathens in the church house, with all of the gripers and the people that say, I put a dollar bill in there, I want to know where it went. Well, you're supposed to put 10% in there and then forget where it went, because it's up to God to take care of it, and it's up to other people after you put it in to take care of it. It's not up to you to guide it through, to watch it, complain about it, look after it. Once you put it in, it belongs to God, and it has nothing to do with you. By the way, you'd do better off not to follow that dollar, because you just might not like where you see a dollar spent. But if there's 600 people putting money in, how you know that was your dollar that was spent there? Your dollar might have went to the mission field, or might have went to the salary, or might have paid some on the water bill, or might have paid some on the light bill. It just so happens I go to a church that happens to have a very, very, very large overhead. It has some 5 or 6 full-time employees that all drive good automobiles, that put good gas in them, that live in good houses, that have to pay good light bills, that have to eat good food, that have to do the same thing you and I have to do. Is there any reason they should live on less than you live on? Can you answer that question? Why in the world do people draw a line in the sand when it comes to putting the money in the church? Do you not think a preacher's worthy of his hire? Do you not think he ought to be a man that's on call like a fireman or a policeman or somebody else? He's on call 24 hours a day. And he's on call for some people who are worthy for him to be on call, and then he's on call for others who are just nuisance people who just call him up to complain. Or call him up to say, well, if so-and-so's going to do that, I'm going to get out of the church. Well, quit calling the preacher and just get out and go somewhere. And you know what you're going to find? You're going to find when you get in another place that you're the problem over there too. You were the problem over here, and you're going to be the problem over there. Let everybody handle what they handle. You handle what you handle. Grow in the Lord. Get in the place of blessing. I'm way off out of where I wanted to be this morning. I wanted to talk about Joseph being in the place of blessing. You cannot be a griper and be in the place of blessing. You cannot be a non-tither and be in the place of blessing. You first must tithe. First principle after salvation, 10% of what you make goes to the Lord. You say, well, Brother Peter, one of the reasons I got saved is we're so destitute. We've got so many problems. You know why? The book of Malachi said you got problems because you've robbed God. Because you took 100% of the money that was funneled through your hands and tried to spend it all on yourself. And it didn't work. You must put God first. Take that 10% out, put it in that treasury at the church, and God will bless the 90%. And He will bless it more than you can imagine. You say, I don't know how that works. I can tell you this. I don't always know how it works either. But we've always tithed 10% plus. And it's always worked for us. I raised 6 children with no insurance and no doctor bills, no hospital bills, no bills. I'm 70 years old and I'm a debt-free person because I followed the principle of tithing. Own house and debt-free. And that's how you can be. If you